How's everybody doing? Evangelist Tony Johnson here, and you have just reached the Buy Money, Build Wealth mini course. I'm so excited for you guys to be here today. We're going to break into a ton of value today, ton of information. This is the introduction to the mini course. We'll be going over the foundation of buying money, building wealth, talking about the money system here in this current marketplace and in the economy. Some things that you might or might not have known, just to kind of break the ice and get us started in what we're going to be diving into. And so I'm just so excited for you guys joining me here on this video and in this course. I thank you guys for the purchase. Believe me, that this training, I believe, is worth more than $20. But you guys, just want to share this information, kind of like a guy that likes to share information to the little guy, Robin Hood type stuff. So definitely thankful and grateful that you guys are here, and I love to break into this. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And so in saying that, let's go ahead and change my screen real quick. So, Buy Money, Build Wealth mini course. Step-by-step strategy to build business credit, obtain large amounts of business funding, and invest in passive income opportunities. You guys are in for a treat. So, introduction. In this mini course, we're going to teach you guys how to become your #1 overall asset. That's right. You're going to be your very own VIP, and this is something that you can do ground level, step by step. And you don't need anybody's help. As long as you implement and apply these strategies, you'll be just fine. We're going to also show you how you can illegally and ethically position yourself to obtain large amounts of business credit and funding, how you will become an attraction magnet to business lenders and investment banks that will literally throw capital at your business just because you're doing great business. Finally, you'll learn how to find passive income opportunities that will give you the highest ROI on the money you borrow from the bank. Ultimately, what you'll learn is how to build a wealth of kings. That sounds good to me. So does that sound like something you want to learn to do? If so, great. Let's get it in. Let's dive in, guys. We're going to learn some great stuff. So first things first, before I can build my foundation, there's a little strange fact that I must reveal to you guys that you may or may not have known. Strange fact number 1, the very dollar that we rise up at 7:30 a.m., fight traffic on our way to work, you know how I go, road rage, cussing and fussing, work 8, sometimes 10, sometimes 12 hours a day. Listen to this, guys. It's a debt-based currency. It's a debt-based currency. We need to know that to build a foundation. Listen to this. Strange fact number 1, continue. The U.S. economy has been kept afloat by the massive money printing of the Federal Reserve. Money is debt that gets created in the form of IOUs called U.S. Treasuries, which are then created or better yet converted into dollars through fancy monetary policies of the U.S. government. According to nationalpriorities.org, at the end of 2017, the total U.S. debt will be $19.5 trillion. So, we are in a big trouble, guys. So we got to share that with you. So what was my purpose of sharing this information before I laid our foundation for building the wealth of kings? Well, I'm glad you asked. Now, at least I know you guys are, basically locked into the information. And so the reason I shared this information is, first of all, I wanted to give you guys a grasp of the current playing field, or monopoly board, if you will, of cash flow. So you can get a quick glimpse of how money flows from the Federal Reserve to the banking institutions, to your current employer, if you have one. Many of us are business owners, to your pocket or bank account. We want to know how the money flows. Once you know how the money flows, then you can find the loopholes in the system to benefit your particular family and yourself. Second of all, I want to erase some of our misconceptions or false perceptions about money and debt. Many have heard stay away from debt. Debt is bad, and nothing can come good from borrowed money, which leads me to another strange fact that you guys might not have heard before, but now it's time for that light bulb moment. Not all debt is bad. As a matter of fact, some debt is good, and depending on the situation, debt can be a great thing. It can be a great tool, what we call a tool of leverage. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show you guys what's good and what's bad debt. Moving on to the next slide, they're kind of moving a little slow. Now, before you judge me for what I'm saying, don't forget our strange fact number one, that the very paper money that is burning your pockets right now is merely a piece of paper that says to the Federal Reserve, I owe you. So what we're going to do is teach you guys how to make massive amounts of cash through using leverage, using debt, and convert that money into hard assets, real estate, food, transportation, etc. Things that have real tangible value to them. That's why we say we're building the wealth of kings. If you think about it, back in the ancient times, wealth was more on the end of cattle, gold, silver, anything that was tangible, that was considered wealth back then. And so we're going to show you guys how to build the wealth of kings, where you can own some commercial real estate, own some residential real estate, own transportation, be able to put yourself in position to build, organic farms and self-sustaining farms and things of that nature. This is the kind of path we're on. This is the kind of path me and my team are on. So we want to share this with you guys. All right. I'm excited, guys. So bad debt versus good debt. So listen. So consumer debt, that's bad debt. Using debt to buy something you consume, where many times the products you buy are used and consumed, but you are left with the debt and the interest of that debt. Examples of this will be house mortgages. Now, before you judge me, people say, well, house is a great investment. But yeah, well, you use that house. If you got kids, you put wear and tear on that house. You got a 30-year mortgage. Many times you wear the house out before that 30-year mortgage is up. And man, you almost, you depending on the situation, you just got to add the value. You got to remodel. You got to get roof done, things of that nature. So car loans, credit cards, furniture loans, etc. Consumer debt is bad because it is structured to take from your income and wealth and not build your wealth. Now, what we teach is, the way you're going to be building money and getting money, some of these things you can actually own outright. You can, find your house and own it outright because you're going to have enough cash to do that. So, business and investment debt, that's good debt. This is the type of debt that the wealthy use to buy cash flowing, assets. This is the debt you hear talked about when someone says they use OPM or other people's money to get rich. The great thing about investment debt is that banks tend to lend businesses larger amounts of money and with more flexible terms. The reason is because they know businesses are going to use the debt to create income. Lenders have a greater confidence in getting paid back the debt because they are doing business with income producers. And that's what we're going to teach you guys how to be as income producers, finding passive income strategies and different online strategies and tools to make you use this money that we're going to help you guys get and make large amounts of money. So you're going to be an income producer. Please don't forget, the great country we live in was built for capitalism. That's Big Uncle Ben right there. Built for capitalism. So we're in a country that was made for capitalism. So remember that. This is a capitalistic country. So we got to learn the tools. What is capitalism? Capitalism defined. Capitalism as an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. That's what capitalism is defined. So that leads me to this cash flow quadrant. So now that we've defined capitalism, we want to use this cash flow quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki so eloquently gave us in regards to how money flows. So we got right here, we got the E quadrant. This is where most of us start. You have a job, you're working for somebody, you're punching a clock, 9 to 5, 10 to 6. Then many of us get a little bit stirred up within ourselves, and we say, hey, we want to go get a trade. You might be a doctor, you might be a lawyer, you might be an accountant, you might be a barber, things of that nature. This is a self-employed. You own a job. So basically what that means is you're still this is still active income because you have to be there to make the money. So you own a job. So, but then what Robert Kiyosaki teaches is we want to try to work our way over here to this side, the business owner. You own a system that works for you and it makes money for you. And so now you find yourself with a little bit more time freedom because you own a system that's making money for you and you don't have to get out the bed and go to work. You know, see, on these two sides, if you get sick, if anything happens to you, guess what? Your income dies. Then we have the investor. Money works for you. But we're going to use one more of these cash flow quadrants just to kind of break it down a little bit further. So here we go. Cash flow quadrant number 2. Same thing. Just got a little bit more, just got a little bit more details in it. So employee, you have a job, no leverage, 5% wealth. This is a 5% wealth created. So most people, only 5% make money or create wealth through being an employee. Now listen, this is why the clock is here. The clock represents you exchanging time for money. Same with this, self-employed. You own a job. You're exchanging time for money. But I like this over here. Business owner. You own a system. People work for you. People work with you. And you create dollars through a team because you own a system. Now, there's a system in place where people work for you and you don't have to get out of bed every day because you got a team of people that's getting the job done for you. And then the I quadrant, which is what we love to be at, is you own investments. You own cash flowing assets. So now money works for you and you don't work for money. So what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference between the E, the S, the B, and the I? The man with the biggest bankroll wins. It's all about your money. It's all about your bankroll. It's all about massive capital. If you got money, you don't have to go to work. If you had $1 million right now, would you go to your job? If you had $100,000 right now, would you go to your job? No, because we would teach you places to go to produce cash flowing assets. So no, you wouldn't go to your job. And so this is what we want to teach you guys, is how to position yourself to get a big bankroll. The difference between you and many is their money was long. They could start a call center. They could start a retail factory. They could start, some kind of system that would produce money because they had a big bankroll. Far as you, or far as many that I'm talking to, maybe your bankroll is not big enough, so you can't hire employees. You can't get the equipment and things that you need to get the business going. So the difference is the man with the biggest bankroll wins. So that's what we want to do, is we want to show you guys how to create a big bankroll. And this goes for anybody. This goes for anybody. The man working at McDonald's, the man that's a barber, the man that's working at Home Depot, the man that's working at Lowe's. We want to show you guys how you can position yourself to have a big bankroll so you don't have to get up every morning and go to work. That's what we're trying to do. So there's two types of investment capitals, OPM. So we got equity. Equity. This is a very important part of this lesson right now. So equity, personal equity, 401k and savings. So many of you use 401k as a way. I've heard many testimonies of people that use the 401k. They built it up to about $50,000 and they were able to invest in a food truck. Now they had the equipment, they had everything they needed, and their profits began to build a bankroll. You know what I mean? So savings and 401k. Another thing we could include with personal equity is maybe an inheritance, some kind of money somebody left you. And then the next part of equity is investor equity. Private equity firms, venture capitalists, angel investors. Now listen, our philosophy is giving equity is not favorable to you or your company and vision. Now many people would say, well, that's strange, man. If somebody wants to invest in me and I don't have the money, why not take that money so I can build my vision and brand? And that's a true statement. That's very true. But there's some things you might need to know before you do that, because we got another way that you can position yourself where you don't have to give away equity to your company. That means you're giving stakes to your company, whether it's stocks, things like that. You're selling shares or whatever. This is what equity means. And so, number one, you're giving away control of your vision. So anytime somebody, any venture capitalist or angel investor invest their money, they're going to look to put their input in, and they have the legal right, because they've invested money with you, to talk about your brand, your vision, and what you're trying to do. Number two, you have to share the profits forever. Now, this is not just 1 year. For the life of the business, you have to share your profits. So say, for instance, you get an angel investor and they say, okay, we want 25, 30% stake in the company, but we'll give you all the money you need to start the vision. Well, guess what? That's fine. You got the money that you need, but you got to give up 30% of your company for life. Now, you might say, well, that's what Mark Zuckerberg did. He got billions of dollars and he had to give stake. But hey, if I got 70% of $10 to $100 million, that's cool. You know what I mean? And that's cool. I mean, it is a great way to think of it. Also, but keep in mind, there are some loopholes you got to jump through. Your business plan has to be absolutely airtight. It's just a lot of stipulations. That's why they call it the Shark Tank. Those guys in the Shark Tank, they're sharks. They're looking for blood. They're looking for somebody that's hungry, looking for somebody that's trying to get their vision off the ground. They got the bankroll, and they say, hey, we're going to take advantage of the fact that we got the large bankroll. We can buy visions. We can buy, ideas. We can buy products, and we can sit back and make money off of somebody else's creativity. And that's why they call it the Shark Tank. So just keep that in mind, guys, before you think about giving equity in your company, because you might want to look at this next slide before you do. Man, I'm passionate about, I love this stuff, man. So 2 types of investment capital. OPM, this is continued debt-based funding. This is what we're talking about. Unsecured business lines of credit. This is what we love. Right now we have a partner. We have a vendor that we use where we can get up to, for one corporation, we can get up to 50 to 250K of capital. And so it's just a great situation. A lot of this capital you can get with great terms, 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. And guess what? You're taking off. You got the money you need. You got the ability you need. Now you can buy equipment, depending on what kind of business venture you're jumping into. You can buy equipment. You can go ahead and get products. But what we love is, in this course, we're going to teach you guys how to invest in things that have little to no overhead. The only overhead you may have is marketing, using this money to market, and sometimes it's just using this money to invest in our investment strategies and seeing great returns. So that's why we love this. That's why we love it, man. So, and then we also got business loans, factoring, and collateral-based loans. Now, this is financing that comes from business lending institutions, banks, and it's based on the company's history, business credit scores, and whether or not the business is making money. So business lenders have programs that suit entrepreneurs. They are in the business of helping you make money, because when you make money, they make money. Great part is you maintain full control of your company. So that's the great part. You maintain full control of your company. So now that we built our foundation for building the wealth of kings, we will end this module with a little mystery, just to keep you guys in anticipation for the next lesson. In the next lesson, we'll teach you guys the secret power of owning a corporation. But as we conclude this module, I will leave you guys a little golden nugget of information. That information is this: that Warren Buffett started his first corporation at the age of 25. By the end of the year, he had secured $300,000 of working capital in that corporation and with that corporation. And that started the legend of Warren Buffett. So I thank God that there's people out here as an example. We want to understand that this is not new strategy. This has been in the system as a loophole for years and years and years. And now, some of us, certain cultures are just waking up to it. But that's okay, because it's still in strategy. And as long as we have this current money system in place, we can utilize these strategies to position ourselves to be on the BNI side of the cash flow quadrant and find ourselves being business owners and investors and building the wealth of kings, So this is not something new. This is something that's been around. And, I always like to say, good teachers are only a reverb of good mentorship. Somebody taught them. So knowledge is always passed down from generation to generation, from brother to brother. And so I'm just glad that I'm a brother that can pass this information to you so you can get a good idea of what it takes to position yourself to build the wealth of kings. Now, listen, this was just an introduction. We had, many might have said, well, listen, Brother Tony, I already know this about the money. I know that we're in a debt-based economy. I know the dollar is a debt-based currency. I know about, using other people's money. I know about investment capital. I know about debt-based financing and equity-based financing, and that's great. But I had to break the ice and lay the foundation for those who didn't know. So if you did know, great. If you didn't know, I'm glad to share this information with you. And I want you guys to stay tuned. Get ready to get ready for the next video module, because we're going to go deep. We're going to go in details on how to start and build and establish business credit so you can obtain this type of capital and get yourself going so you can be in position as Warren Buffett. Hey, man, it's not rocket science. These guys are not better than you. They're not more special than you, and they just implemented what they knew about the system. They implemented the loopholes they knew about the system, and they found themselves in a position where they could build wealth. And so basically they bought money and they build wealth. And we're gonna explain this the title a little bit more: Buy Money, Build Wealth, where you literally can put yourself in position to print money just like the Federal Reserve and use that money to build the wealth of kings. God bless you guys. Looking forward to seeing you on the next module. God bless.